it's MK, and today is Off the Board with Crystal Barrett, who is Pineapple Papers here on YouTube. And because I pull out me and Janet, pull out our color combinations for Color Craze off of Pinterest, this is perfect combination for Off the Board. I am also combining it with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and the beautiful sketch that was created by Jen Miller. Okay, so I have 3 photos here. And then a couple of these pipes. Now, this was an entire 12 by 12 piece of paper that I just cut out all the pipes for. I was going to use it on another project, never did. And now I thought this was a good project to use it on. I also have some of this leftover urban paper by Close to My Heart, and then I found a full sheet of it. So I was super happy about that because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get enough strips out of this paper, and then I found this one here. This one is the new release that was in 2019. The Urban Collection originally came out, I believe, in 2013. It was one of my favorite collections because of this blueprint paper. I also have from Kaisercraft a sticker book from the Workshop collection that has some really cool of the same color combinations like that rust and blue color. So I was hoping to bring in some of these gears right here instead of, the words and stuff that really just don't go with my photos at all. I have an old cardstock from Close to My Heart, being that it is only single-sided instead of double-sided. And then also from Kaisercraft, I have this beautiful rust paper that actually is, I believe, from Factory 42, and it is Factory 42. And it's just all these pipes on the other side. So I'm going to be sad when all of my Kaisercraft papers are going to be, and I believe somebody said I was saying it wrong. It's Kaisercraft, I think is how they said it. I apologize again. Bad habits are hard to break. But yes, I'm going to be sad when all of my papers are going to be gone. I also have a button that I picked up, I believe, from Tim Holtz. I can't remember, but they're like campaign buttons. And then these little faceted stars are also from Tim Holtz. And the big one is rather thick and bulky. So you want to make sure if you do use these on your layout and you do put them in an album, that you make sure that that is the page protector you're going to want to keep it in, because it will make a little dent in your page protector. And then from Minte, I'm going to be using their chalk paste that is, it's actually chalk paint, I believe, in the color navy, but it just dries so beautiful, you guys. I love this paint. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is cut up all my papers. I'm going to use the rust piece as my background paper, and then I'm going to use this blueprint as the stripes that Jen has in her sketch going out from opposite corners. And so I'm going to try to somehow recreate that effect. And I'm cutting them down, I think, 1/2 inch. I can't really remember what size. And then I'm really going to chop my photos down so that way they work really well with what I'm trying to do in the corners, because I don't want to take up too much space, but I wanted the photos to still be seen. Okay, so I went and I chopped my photos down, chopped this cardstock down for photo mats, and now I'm just going to rough up the edges just a little bit. And for some reason, normally I do every step along the way and then glue all my photos down, one step at a time. But for some reason, I scuffed up the edges and glue one photo, scuffed up the edges and glued one photo. I have no idea why I did that. And then, I contemplate a lot, you guys. This is something that I take out of my videos quite a bit, is my fingers drumming, my hands just sitting there, feeling and touching the stuff before I actually come up with, a plan. And so yeah, it's just one of those things that I cut out, and I thought, I'm going to leave that in this time because it's short and sweet this time. But not all the time it is. So I'm just putting down my pipes where the strips are going to go, and then I'm going to weave the strips in and out of the piping, so that way they are all one and the same. It just creates for a different effect and interest to the stripes, instead of just having 3 stripes above and below the photos. So, and I did cut out some of the stripes already from the new 12 by 12 piece of paper. That one I did not show you guys how to, that I did that yet, but I will show you because clearly I need a little bit more pieces. I didn't cut enough pieces. I have no idea what I'm doing now. Something off to the side. Weird. I'm sorry for my rudeness, you guys. This is just a dry run of what it's going to look like. I really don't like how the bottom pipes are going at this moment. So it's just one of those things that I'm going to keep going and then still think about it, but nothing is set in stone and glued into place. Okay, so I needed 2 more stripes in order to get all of my strips that are needed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out real quick, and I just cut them in half. They're all 6 inches long. I don't have a clue how long the original scrap was. I just cut it as many times as I could. One of them ended up not being quite half an inch, but I don't think you can even notice it when I'm all done, when it's all said and done. So, all right, time to get a little bit serious. I wanted this little knob to show on the piping that is underneath all the blue stripes, but I wasn't sure if it was going to show enough to where that way it's visible, and then I decided to weave it in and out of my my blue strips. And then I took that piping and I actually cut it. So where it was bent and had 2 pieces going in the same direction, I cut it and had the one piece go along the left side, and then the bendy piece has been moved over so that way you can see it outside my photo. So yeah, I'm really glad that I just took a chance and chopped it all up. But what I'm doing now is I'm creating a one piece. So I'm gluing everything together, but not quite gluing it down to the background because I want to put that paint on my background. I just don't want to put it all over my background. I want it behind all of the photo elements and stripes and things like that. So I know this was painstakingly tough, and I do end up cutting some of it out because it does take me a little bit, and then of course I run out of adhesive and just all sorts of stuff. So I do cut out some of this, but I left the majority of it in, so just so you guys could see how I'm doing it, especially up at the top where I have some of my strips going down behind, because in my photo doesn't quite go all the way in the corner, and so the strips fill up that corner. And create a little weave, and so I just definitely didn't want anything. Oh, well, there you go. Cell phone time. Rude. Anyways, my photos are of the Comstock, which is one of the major mines in Virginia City. We actually didn't get to go and tour the Comstock. We just we ran out of time. It was a day trip for us, and we ran out of time to get into all of the tours, and so we did not end up at the Comstock, which was the main mine over at Virginia City at the time. And so we just went into the compound and took a few photos of the outside, and pretty much put it on our bucket list for the next time that we end up in Virginia City. So that's where that went. This is the part I was telling you about that I was completely taking out because, oh my gosh, what a pill. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my paint ready, and you do have to stir them up before you can start. And all I do is take the end of a paintbrush and stir it up. I do have to say that the newer colors that they came out with, they must have changed the formula because they are not as liquidy. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time stirring them up like you do the older ones. The older ones were quite liquidy and took a long time to stir up and mix up. Eventually you get it, but yeah, the newer ones are just creamy and gorgeous, and oh my goodness. I love them all though. So this was my plan. I just really wanted to get some blue behind. I wanted to definitely portray that I don't know, those rusted bricks, I think, in my photo of the sample color combination. So I definitely wanted to get, I don't know, that blend of of rust and blue, but in the opposite. I didn't want to start with a blue paper and try to put rust on it. I wanted the opposite. I wanted to just put a little bit of blue on a rust paper. So anywho, and I feel like I got it. I just wanted it to peek out here and there and everywhere. So I keep applying my my ink down and then putting my papers back down to make sure that I have enough sticking out before I call it good. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just putting it back. This paint dries so super fast. I am not even worried about applying it right as soon as I was finished. I finally found a spot for my knob. That makes me super happy. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit more blue. I felt like it needed something else. So these are those infamous crosses that they could be used as pluses. They could be used as X's. It just doesn't, depending on how you twist and turn the stamp. But I'm not using a block or anything. I am just dabbing it and then stamping it 2 to 3 times because this is a very juicy ink pad. I thought I picked out Chip Sapphire, but instead this actually is the Uncharted Mariner. But when it dries, it still is that dark blue that I was looking for. So I'm okay. And I didn't even realize it, honestly, until it was done and over with. I was like, oh, I grabbed out the wrong ink. Hey, happy accidents there. Okay, so I'm going to take these, actually just this one geared sticker from Kaiser Craft's workshop sticker book, and go ahead and fill in a little bit more of where I feel like there's gaps and they need a little bit more interest. So it's just going to be up at the top and at the bottom and woven in between the stripes. That way I can just fill in what I feel like needs something else. That's all that is. So, and everything is just glued to the photo. Nothing else is actually glued down until, well, right now. I'm gluing everything down. I'm committing. I'm making that final commitment. I really do enjoy how this turned out. I honestly wasn't sure what it was going to look like, but then I thought, it's just one of those things that if I really didn't like it, we really didn't go to the Comstock, so it's not something that had to go into my photo book, right? Or my photo album. So there is the main elements of everything, and of course I cut off some gears, so I have to save those and maybe use those later. That's just my thing. I can't throw anything away, you guys. I know I've said that multiple times, but I just can't. There's also several other little stickers that are in the sticker book, and so I just applied those wherever I can, and then there's where I put my cutoff. The smallest little things, you guys. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's an embarrassment or not. I apologize for being a little bit too low. When I stand up to scrapbook, I sometimes forget where the camera is. It's easier to know where it is when I'm sitting down, but when I'm standing up, I seem to pull the layout a little too close to me. And so I apologize that you can't really see what I'm doing, but I had a few elements that were just offcuts from that piping paper. And so what I did was I added them to 3D some of my piping up and fill in this little gap that I had down here at the in the lower left corner. And now I'm going to add those faceted stars. Now I am not one of those that is worried about little dimples in my page protector. I'm also not one that worries about how thick a page is before putting it in. I mean, yes to no. I have put some pretty thick pages in, but not shadow box thick, if that's where I'm going with that. So anyways, just filling up, and I don't think I end up using all of the stars. I think I just end up using, I don't know, do I use them all? I don't think so. But yeah, just kind of like sequence, scattering them around here and there where I felt like they were, debating whether or not I needed some splatter. And I thought, no, because I think that would have taken away from my little crosses, my little X's. So, and that's it, you guys. I absolutely love how this turned out, to be honest. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and, watching the process with me. Like I said, I had no idea what this was going to turn into or, what it was going to end up looking like. But I'm super glad that it all worked out in the end. I did a happy dance because I do surprise myself that sometimes what I think in my head ends up on the paper and it actually works. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today for Color Craze and Off the Board. Please be sure to check out Janet Fritz over on her channel to see what she has come up with this color combination. Also, too, there is a list down below of those that play along with Crystal and her Off the Board series, which is the last Wednesday of every month. And also, too, thank you, Jen, for this beautiful sketch for today. I really enjoyed playing with it. And for Christy's Beautiful Life, I have 2 links down below. One is a playlist for those that are playing along on YouTube, and a Facebook group link for those that are just posting their layouts per day. And so, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.